Rochester District Heating Cooperative is a very unique operation. Not many cities can tout the fact that they have a district energy center supplying thermal energy to many of the large buildings, churches, and commercial and retail space in their cities. We were formed in 1985 when we bought some assets from Rochester Gas and Electric as a member-owned nonprofit cooperative. It's an interesting business model. We call our customers members. When a building connects up to our district energy center, they become equity owners in our business. They have a say in our business dealings and share in the equity of the business.
Yeah, so the RDH Board of Directors is made up of all of its members effectively, and we interact from the various businesses, from the small businesses in the community, from things like Speedy's Cleaners to the small churches, all the way up to the County of Monroe. The City of Rochester is represented on the board, as well as a number of the larger buildings in the downtown area.
The Rochester District Heating Cooperative has a unique footprint in downtown Rochester and provides the members with a low-cost heating or energy alternative. And that's one of the benefits that we have, that this is something that is not driven by profit, it's driven by member use. And what do the members say what's best?
When I came on board as the general manager in 2011, I talked to the board and the membership about what our future really needs to be or could be. And unanimously, the board and the membership said invest in the future.
So we went through in the last 18 months or so a $6 million upgrade to our facility. What we had noticed is that we needed to improve the efficiency of our system. And these upgrades were necessary in order to do it.
So for the project, the biggest part of the project was we had to demo a 1920s vintage boiler that was 5 stories tall. We needed the space that this boiler was sitting in. Because it was from the 1920s, it was very inefficient, we needed to remove it. We had custom boilers that were made for this site that would fit into the space that we had demoed the boilers from. The infrastructure improvements that were made at RDH improved the redundancy of the plant, improved the capacity of the plant, the reliability of the plant, so that all of the 48 clients that RDH serves in downtown Rochester has a system that they can 100% rely on.
Well, there are multiple uses for our thermal energy. Of course, heating is the predominant use during the winter time, but we run 24/7, 365 because these facilities use it for other things as well. For example, domestic hot water, commercial hot water for laundry operations and so on. Food preparation. Our steam is FDA quality grade steam, and so it can be used for direct contact food preparation. Heating pools, ice melt in the winter. It can be used for production of electric through a back pressure steam generator like we have in our plant making our own power. That's just a handful of different uses that they could use our steam for. Our strategy when I came on board was 3-tiered. The first was to fix what we have. The second was to replace some of the legacy capacity. And the third was to grow. And we are now in that third pillar of our strategy, and that is growth, to try to increase our membership. The projects that we undertook will allow us to do that.
So anytime we add a new business to the system, it effectively lowers our demand cost. And demand is basically our administrative costs, because those costs are being able to spread out over a greater base. So as we add businesses, as we develop new products to service existing customers, we'll continue to be able to drive those costs down.
Most of the major landmark facilities are connected up to our system. For example, 100 South Clinton, the Xerox Square facility, the Metropolitan, which used to be called the JP Morgan Chase Tower, Legacy Tower, also known as the Bosch and Lomb Tower, the Civic Center, City Hall. Most recently, Tower 280 at Midtown, 50 Chestnut. The renaissance of Rochester is astounding, the changes that are taking place. The City of Rochester and the County of Monroe are strong advocates and members of ours. And in part, the reason that we undertook these investments was to position ourselves for that renaissance, for those developments. We want to give the City of Rochester an alternative to conventional boilers and heating plants within a building. Offer them a solution where they can connect up to a pipe instead of putting in boilers, which takes up space, requires additional maintenance, staffing, insurance, permits, water treatment, and a whole slew of costs that come by putting in your own capacity. We will spend the money as a cooperative to hook you up and get you connected, put in the equipment that you need, and then we'll charge you back that cost over the term of the agreement.
We've effectively allowed those small business owners to maintain their profitability inside of their own businesses, whether that be from renting space out or using that existing space to develop or deliver their product that they're actually using it for.
I've been a past member of the board of directors. I've been a user. I purchase energy from it, and right now I'm one of their biggest advocates. This is something that's positively Rochester, something that's unique to Rochester, and something that people who are thinking about coming downtown to start up their business, they should really consider joining our Rochester District Cooperative.